Welcome everyone to the Cristo Rey Network Virtual College Fair. Just a few reminders as you get settled into our virtual session here. Your camera and microphone are off, so our college reps cannot hear or see you. But if you want to ask questions, feel free to use the Q&A button on your screen at any time to ask the representatives questions about their institutions. We do have more sessions coming up, so feel free to check out those sessions on the website. And this session is being recorded, so you can check out this recording available online after the session. Now I'm going to be sharing a video, about a 1-minute video of the Cristo Rey Network before we get into our first institution.
Welcome to the Cristo Rey Network Virtual College Fair. We're glad that you're here, and we congratulate you and your families for taking this next step in your college journey. With over 25,000 alumni nationwide from 39 schools in 24 states and almost 13,000 students currently in Cristo Rey high schools, we're glad that we have over 5,000 juniors and seniors who are joining us for this virtual college fair this year. We're joined by nearly 100 college partners who are invested in your future, some of which have been partnering with us for over 15 years. You'll have the opportunity to connect with dozens of colleges and partake in one of 2 financial aid one-on-one sessions. One will be in Spanish and one in English. And since all these sessions will be recorded, don't worry if you miss something, because we'll put them out on YouTube after the fair. And don't forget about the Ask Me Anything open forum at 7 p.m. Central on Thursday and 3 p.m. Central on Saturday. This is your prime opportunity to ask college admissions representatives anything. We want you to leave this fair confident and empowered to start your college journey. Thank you for all of your commitment to the classes of 2023 and 2024, to our parents, guardians, students, college counselors, and college representatives. Viva Cristo Rey!
So at this time, I'd like to welcome our first institution, Hampshire College.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna from Hampshire College. I am going to share my screen and go over some information and details about Hampshire College. Let's see if I can put this into slideshow mode. Here we go. Actually, let's go. I'm on the last slide. Let me escape. I can't escape. Maybe I can escape. Click to exit. Stop. Let's come back to the first slide. All right, here we go. So this is an aerial photo of Hampshire College campus. I'm going to start out by talking about the campus, the student body, campus location, and then I'll talk about the academic model at Hampshire and the different academic areas that we offer. And I'll talk about our learning system, and then some other things at the end. So Hampshire College is in rural Western Massachusetts. It's 2 hours from Boston. It's 3 hours from New York City. It shares a vibrant area with 4 other colleges in multiple towns, some small, some large. So it's a very lively and beautiful area, and there's lots of things to do. Hampshire College itself is a very rural campus. So as you can see in this photo, there are lots of trees. Hampshire has 400 acres of forest as part of its campus. The entire campus is 800 acres. So these cute little buildings here are student housing. In students' first years, they live up here in these brick buildings, the dorms, so not as cute or pretty. In your final 2 years as a student, you get to live in these apartments that Hampshire students call mods. This is a living building. So Hampshire College is a 100% carbon neutral campus. Our environmental sciences program is very strong. And we have 2 living buildings on campus. It's architecturally, I think, the most green certification that you can have for an architectural, for architecture. So the living building is entirely self-sustaining. It has composting toilets. It recycles and reuses rainwater, and also any water, like if you wash your hands, that water goes into a gray water system that is then recycled and reused. So lots of cool things about Hampshire campus. I'm going to talk about some things that make Hampshire's academic model different. So firstly, we see a group of students here. This is our incoming class last year, actually, listening to Ed, our president, over here on the library lawn speaking. Our student, so we're a small school. We have 800 students on campus, and we're a rural campus. So when you're thinking about Hampshire College, you want to think about whether you would thrive in a rural area and with this size of student body. So small, intimate, all of those adjectives describe the Hampshire student body. Hampshire is a very different kind of school. So Hampshire was founded, I'll talk a little bit more about that. Hampshire was founded in the 1960s during the Cultural Revolution that was happening at the time in the United States by the presidents of the other colleges in the area. We're thinking about how to think outside of the box regarding higher ed. If we decided to do things entirely differently, what would that look like? So they made a manifesto called The Making of a College, and Hampshire College was founded on that manifesto. And these are the four major things where Hampshire College diverges from more traditional colleges. Students do not receive grades or do tests. So instead, you're doing project work throughout the semester. And you get narrative evaluations instead of grades. And we have an entirely open curriculum. So you don't declare a major, instead you customize your own major. There's a divisional system that you go through. So for students who are customizing their own major, to make sure that it's a cohesive concentration, that you're building a body of work that makes sense altogether. We have the divisional system, which is the supportive framework. And then Hampshire's part of the 5-college consortium, which I'll talk a little bit about. So as I mentioned, the other 4 schools in the consortium founded Hampshire College. They are the University of Massachusetts Amherst College, Smith College, and Mount Holyoke College. All of these schools are in a 10-mile radius. There's bus routes that run between all of them, so students can easily get from one campus to another. But students at all of these campuses essentially have access to all of these amenities. Students at all campuses can cross-register for courses at any other campus with no extra fees or tuition. You can join clubs, use libraries. So there's just this whole list of things that you can do as a student at any of these schools. And they're all great schools in a very beautiful area, 40,000 college students combined among the schools. The towns are really cute, nice, always lots of cultural things happening that you can do. Why do students choose to come to Hampshire College? Students come to Hampshire College because they're super curious. They want to learn lots of different things, or maybe they have 1 or 2 things that they really want to drill down into, and they don't want to have to take classes in something that they don't want, that they're not interested in. So Hampshire really appeals to a particular set of students. This is the divisional structure. In your first year, you're in Division 1, second year, Division 2, final year, Division 3. Second and third years are Division 2. So in your first year, you're encouraged to take classes in all the areas you're interested in. Maybe take some classes in areas you're not interested, or that you haven't thought about, but you think they sound interesting. And you're exploring a lot of different things. In your second and third years, you kind of narrowing down, similarly to a major, in which you declare a major in your second year. So at Hampshire, you're kind of narrowing down your interests and you're exploring more deeply. You have a lot of different things that you can do to get academic credit at Hampshire during Division 2. So study abroad, internships. And then in Division 3, you do a final project. So you're spending most of your time in your final project. I'm going to talk a little bit about the application process. So we take the Common App. There's no fee. We're test free, so we have never accepted any test scores, and we consider everyone's individual experience. Hampshire is a different kind of school. It really works well for students who are self-driven, self-motivated, super curious. We have some open houses coming up. I encourage all of you to check Hampshire College out and see if it might be the school for you, or if one of the schools in the consortium might be the school for you. And I think I may be running up to my time. Is that right? Cool. I'm going to stop my share if I can. Perfect. Here we go. Lovely.
Thank you so much, Anna. Next up, we have College of the Holy Cross.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney Lima, and I'm the Associate Director at College of the Holy Cross. First, I'd like to start off with where in the nation are we? We are located in Worcester, Massachusetts. We are tucked in between two major cities, so between Boston and Providence, but folks are actually surprised to learn that we are the second largest city in New England. So Holy Cross as a campus is known as a college on the hill. We are tucked up on a hill in Worcester, very residential, but downtown Worcester is about 5 to 10 minutes away from us. As you can see, we have a lot of colleges within our area. We have about 8 to 10 colleges. So it's a very young and vibrant town, and a lot of things for folks to do in this city. If you love baseball, we recently acquired the Woo Sox, which is the minor league of the Red Sox. So it's definitely been a fun time for students. The Hanover Theater, which is mini Broadway, DCU Center, which is a large concert venue. And then folks who are thinking about transportation, we have the train station right in downtown Worcester that would take students into Boston. But for those that are a little bit farther away, we have 3 major airports close by: Boston, Providence, and Worcester, that students can fly into and get to campus pretty easily. But circling back to Holy Cross, we are a small undergraduate Jesuit Catholic institution. So what does that mean? As an institution with Jesuit beliefs, we believe being a man and woman for others. We have students from all different faith backgrounds and traditions on our campus. And at the end of the day, we want students to do good in the world. And that can be within the career that they choose, through the clubs and organizations they decide to be a part of. At the end, it's just being an overall good person. Now, an undergraduate-only institution, there's a lot of strengths to that. For students who want to do research, especially in the sciences, they can start doing research as early as their freshman year. And when you think about all the resources on campus, it's going directly to our undergrads. With that, we have a strong retention and graduation rate for our students. For those who do not know what a retention rate is, it means for all the students that decide to come to Holy Cross, about 95% return, and we have about a 91% 4-year graduation rate for all students. That includes first-gen students and low-income students as well. We are a small campus. We are about 3,200 students. Our student to faculty ratio is about 10 to 1. And our average class size is about 19 students. So our classes is probably very similar to what you are experiencing right now in your Cristo Rey network. So if you really enjoy knowing your teachers now, our students really thrive in the small campus environment in classrooms because they get to know their professors really well. Now, in terms of what do we offer on our campus, here's a list of majors and programs. Something to note is that we actually do not admit based on majors. We actually require all of our first-year students to be undeclared, and students only have to declare the end of their sophomore year. So students essentially have 2 years to really explore. I tell students this is a great time to confirm if what you thought you want to study, you actually enjoy it, or a time to take a class that you never would have thought of that you would take. For instance, I'd never had Latin in my high school, and I thought if I was a student at Holy Cross, taking Latin is something that I definitely would have enjoyed doing. College is a time to really explore and get outside your comfort zone, and we really want students to do that while they are here. So I'm going to switch a little bit towards admissions and financial aid. So there's a couple of things to know about Holy Cross. We are an early decision school. So that means for students that apply early, it is a binding admissions process. So that's November 15th, and then the second round, January 15th. We also have a regular decision deadline that is also January 15th. Something to know is that we are on the Common App and the Coalition app. We do not have a preference on which application you sent to us, but something that's really exciting is that we became a QuestBridge partner. So we are going on our 2nd year. This fall, we enrolled our first QuestBridge class. We welcomed 11 students to campus. So for those that are unfamiliar with QuestBridge, it is a selective scholarship for high achieving low income students. We are in a network of about 45 schools, so we are in great company. So if that's something that interests you, you can definitely contact me. So what are we looking for? At the end of the day, we are looking for a strong academic record. We are test optional. Last year, about 2/3 of our students applied test optional, and about 2/3 were admitted, and about 2/3 were enrolled. So I know a lot of students are really scared about, do I send my scores? Do I not send my scores? As noted, the majority of our students are applying to Holy Cross without testing. Writing, we look at the college essay that you submit on your Common App or Coalition app. We do not have additional supplements. So for seniors who are in this space, I'm excited to share that with you so you can focus your attention on other things. In terms of extracurricular activities, we of course are looking at what you are involved in school, whether that can be volunteering, sports, but also, do you work a part-time job? Are you helping out a family member? I want to remind students that whatever is taking up your time outside of the classroom, we want to know about. And then we're also looking at recommendations. So this can be your teacher, your guidance counselor are great people to write recommendation letters. But I also tell students, who is someone else that may know you outside of the classroom, outside of a school environment? Maybe you work a job. Personally speaking, I worked a part-time job in high school and my manager wrote a recommendation letter for me. Maybe you volunteer at an organization that's outside of your school. Maybe there's someone that can speak very highly about you in that aspect. For the parents in this space, we also welcome parent recommendation letters, which I think is a nice little addition to an application. And lastly, we track engagement. So attending a college fair like you're doing right now, that's engagement. Attending a campus visit, that's engagement. So that's definitely something to think about as you're interacting with colleges. And last but not least, I just want families to know we meet 100% of financial aid for students and families. So with that being said, we need the FAFSA, which is a federal student aid form, but we also need the CSS profile, which is a private form through the College Board. So as noted, 100% financial aid. And if you ever have questions about that, you are more than welcome to contact our financial aid office. And this is just my contact information. I hope you got a lot of today's session. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Courtney. Next up, we have Regis College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria. I am our Assistant Director of Undergrad Admissions here at Regis College. And Regis College was founded in 1927 by St. Joseph of Boston. So we are a college that is in the greater Boston area, just 12 miles outside of Boston itself. We were founded on 4 core values that we still hold true today. And those values are peaceful resolution of conflict, love and service of the dignity without distinction, care for all creation, and gracious hospitality. And those founding values are something that all of our staff and faculty really try to incorporate into the community feeling on campus. One way that they do that is by having resources for students who may be first-generation students or students of color, students who come from a background where they may need some additional help as they are entering into the collegiate world for the first time. We have 50% of our students are first-generation students, and so we really value that. We value the diversity that comes with that, and we also value the opportunity to get to walk alongside these students as they transition. We were started in 1927 as an all-girls college, and in 2007 we became co-ed. We are a smaller school, so we have about 1,000 traditional undergrad students, and we really value the close-knit community that leads to us having. We have 4 schools at Regis, the first being our School of Health Sciences. You can see the programs that we offer in this school. Some really popular programs within this school would be our dental hygiene, diagnostic medical sonography, nuclear medicine. Those 3 programs do require you to have a 3.0 overall GPA, as well as a 3.0 in your math and sciences. And we're looking to see that you have taken math and science all 4 years of high school. Some other programs within this school that I'd like to mention are psychology and social work, because those are 2 programs that you can do at a faster rate if you want to. You can certainly do it within the 4-year time frame, or you can choose to do it in a time-shortened environment where you would do it in 3 years by taking some summer courses. Next, we have our Sloan School of Business and Communication. As you can see there, we have programs such as business management, business analytics, supply chain management, financial planning, marketing, communications. Our Sloan School of Business is one that is really hands-on, and our professors are actually currently in the works of preparing to do kind of a Shark Tank type endeavor with students on campus in a competitive environment. So that is really interesting, and we're all super excited to go and witness that next week. We have our Young School of Nursing. Nursing is one of our most popular programs at Regis. It is another one of those programs where we do require you to have a higher GPA. So we're looking for you to, again, have a 3.0 overall GPA, as well as a 3.0 in your math and sciences. And we're looking to see if you've taken math and science all 4 years of high school. And then lastly, we have our School of Arts and Sciences with programs such as biology, biomedical engineering, criminal justice, education, environmental sustainability. Those programs typically lend to students being involved in our pre-professional programs, such as pre-med, pre-dental, pre-vet, pre-law, all of that good stuff. All of our programs that I've mentioned today, as well as all the ones you've seen on the screen, do have an internship requirement. So 100% of our students are participating in some sort of internship during their time at Regis. And given our location and proximity to Boston, a lot of students end up taking advantage of that and doing their internships in downtown Boston. But we have someone on campus who helps you get set up with those internship opportunities, so you're not. Regis is a D3 athletic, is a part of the D3 athletic division. We have about a third of our student body are athletes, and actually that number has kind of increased over the last couple of years to almost half of our students are athletes. And 100% of our athletic facilities are on campus, which is pretty unique to the greater Boston area. So that means that you do not have to leave campus to go to practice, which is really, really helpful for students, especially given that our students are very involved on campus. And so they often are going to many different clubs and activities, as well as being a part of these athletic teams. Some athletic teams that we have would be basketball, soccer, men and women's volleyball, cross country, track, dive, field hockey. I don't know if I mentioned lacrosse, that's definitely one of those. And then lastly, how to apply to Regis, you would fill out your Common App. We do require you to submit at least one high school transcript. We are hoping that we can see some of your first quarter grades of senior year, but you don't have them when you are applying. That's certainly fine. And then we are looking for a letter of recommendation from a counselor or a teacher. We are test optional, and I do not recommend submitting your tests just because we don't really take them into consideration unless we are worried about you getting into the college. So most of our programs, besides the few that I have mentioned specifically, we are looking for you to have a 2.3 GPA or higher. So again, don't worry about submitting your tests unless you are kind of on the cusp of that, in which case, if they're really good test scores, that might help us make the decision to allow you to admit. And that is Regis College.
Great, thank you so much. Up next, we have University of Massachusetts-Lowell.
All right. Good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to start saying thank you so much for having me this evening in UMass-Lowell. My name is Doug. I am a Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at UMass-Lowell. I'm also a graduate of the school. It's a place that's been a million years ago, of course. You can see the head and gray hair. It's a place that's been so good to me both personally and professionally. So I'm always really excited to talk about who we are and what we have to offer. So we'll jump right into it. UMass-Lowell is a part of the UMass system. We are a public university, mid-sized school located in Lowell, Massachusetts. We are a research-based institution. Lowell, Mass is about 35 minutes north of Boston, just shy of the New Hampshire border. We're located directly in the technology and high-tech corridor of northeastern Massachusetts. So our students are located right in the thick of the some of the best companies in the world. And as I go through this, I'll get into why that is such a benefit to us and how that affects our student outcomes. A little bit about UMass-Lowell and the student life opportunities that we offer. We have about 10,500 undergraduate students. About 5,000 of those students will live on campus here. We have approximately 300 clubs and organizations on campus. They are all student run. They range from fraternities and sororities to cultural organizations to video game clubs, book clubs, you name it, there's a dozen different clubs you can join. It's one of the most fun parts about college. We also have a very large study abroad program. It's something, I've been doing admissions for a long time, and I always recommend students consider studying abroad. We have a study abroad program for every budget, for every major, and they can start as soon as your freshman year. And certainly something you'd like to consider. They range from short 2-week faculty-led programs that might happen over the winter or summer breaks to the traditional semester or year at another school. So students really enjoy doing that. I've literally never once heard a negative experience from anybody who's studied abroad. In terms of varsity athletics, we have 14 D1 varsity sports. Hockey is our largest, most reputable sporting athletic program here at the university. Men's hockey, we're usually somewhere in the top 20 in the country. We're part of the Hockey East Conference, but all of the rest of our sports are really great. In particular, right now, hot sports are the men's basketball team, the men's and women's lacrosse, not lacrosse, cross country and track and field teams. Women's lacrosse is number 18 in the country right now. So the athletics are great here. It's a lot of fun. All sporting events are totally free of charge to students. We also have over 50 bands and ensembles that anybody can be a part of. You don't have to be a music major to be a part of those, as well as a really large theater program. So on campus, there's always something to do. The city of Lowell is really vibrant. It is a gateway community filled with people from all different walks of life. It's really a hallmark of who we are. The opportunities to meet people from all different backgrounds and walks of life is really, and we are really a reflection of the community of Lowell, which is a really old immigrant town. So that's a little bit about who we are as an institution. Let's talk a little bit about the learning environment. As I had said, about a little over 10,000 undergraduate students. We try to keep our class sizes small for a school of our size. We're pretty proud of our student to teacher ratio. We average about 25 in a class, though just about half of our classes are less than 20 students. So you really get to know your professors. You're not just a face in the crowd. You might have a couple lectures over the course of your degree programs here, but the vast majority of classes that you take will be traditional classroom settings. You're always taught by professors as well. Your core classes, all the classes will be taught by professors, never taught by TAs. So we work really hard about that. One of the nice things about looking at public universities is that the menu of majors is generally very large. So we have over 120 majors. We're adding new majors every year. This year we added a couple sports-based majors in sports engineering and sports studies. But all of our majors are accredited at the highest levels. We're traditionally known regionally for our sciences and engineering. So we are a very strong STEM school, but all of the programs are really strong. And we can go all the way up through whatever level of education it is that you'd like to pursue here. We have master's degrees, go up through PhDs. We do offer accelerated bachelor's to master's programs. We have approximately 40 of those, give or take. And those are great opportunities for you to get an additional degree in just one additional year, save yourself a bunch of time and money, and make yourself much more marketable when you graduate. And any major can do it. It doesn't have to be a one-to-one direct correlation. For instance, we do have a lot of exercise science students who like to major in biomedical engineering as a natural, do their accelerated master's, in biomedical engineering as a natural just progression of their study of the body. If you're not sure what you want to do, that's totally fine. You don't have to know. About half of our students will change their major at least once. So that's very typical of the experience here. I handle all of the major changes for incoming students. And this past year, I changed approximately 350 majors even before students started classes. So it is a very typical experience. Our job is to help you get through it as efficiently as possible and get you out into your career. So that's a little bit about the academic environment. Really at the core of what UMass Lowell offers, and it's really why our students do so well when they graduate. We are a student outcome-based university. We really prioritize preparing students for the workforce. We want students to be able to, of course, do all the things you do in college, meet friends, grow as a person, meet people from all sorts of different walks of life, have new experiences. But at the end of the day, you're trying to plan for a career. So that's what we're here for. Co-ops, internships, available to all students from every single major, and they're all paid. It's really important about what we do. Finally, applications. You know, this is the average student that comes to UMass-Lowell, but in general, we're looking for a B plus average. We're early action and regular decision based. Nothing is binding about our applications, just a chance for you to express early interest. We require just the FAFSA form to apply for financial aid. Our average financial aid package is a little over $17,000, so it is very affordable to come to UMass-Lowell. So again, I thank you folks for your time. I appreciate it, and have a great night.
Great, thank you so much. Next up, we have Stonehill College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandra Alonso, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Admissions at Stonehill College. So to start off, I will just talk about a little bit of who we are, and then I'll get into the next slide. So Stonehill College is a Catholic private institution in Easton, Massachusetts. We are about 20 miles south of Boston and about 35 miles north of Providence, Rhode Island. And we're about 25 minutes away from Gillette Stadium, where the Patriots play. So that's a good distance to everything, and we're very close to a lot of stuff going on. So over here is our mission statement. The college was founded by the Congregation of the Holy Cross in 1948. So this is actually our 75th anniversary year. Everything at a college starts with its mission statement. All of our initiatives, programs, and student support systems, they stem from the principles outlined here. And we really want to see every graduate to think, act, and lead with courage. And mission statements are really important because they can help you get to the core values of each institution. So over here, I have a bunch of different things that I will go over. So to start off with academics, the college is split up between two schools, the School of Business and the School of Arts and Sciences. We have 52 majors and 59 minors within both of those schools. And we are very flexible when it comes to our academic programs. So if you wanted to pursue a major in both schools, like you want a double major in finance and psychology, you can absolutely do that. We want to make sure our students are pursuing everything that they are interested in. Our average class size is about 19 students per class. That can really range. It can be up to like 25, it could be less than 19. And the students really enjoy having those small class sizes because they get very comfortable with the people who are in there. Within all of our programs, we offer internship and research opportunities, and we can help you find those opportunities. It can be through a professor who might send you an email about it or let you know about it in your class, or it can be through our career development center that is available to all of our students. Outside of the classroom, we have 23 NCAA Division I teams, and we have a lot of intramural and club sports as well. So if you didn't want to do D1, you have also club and intramural options. And those include rugby, ultimate frisbee, which is very competitive, beach volleyball, and ice hockey. And outside of athletics, we also offer about 80 different clubs that can cater to a variety of interests for students. And that can include dance, skiing, ecology, science fiction, creative writing. So lots of options for clubs. And then we also hold many on-campus events for our students, such as movie nights, bingo nights, which is also something that gets very competitive, ice cream socials, carnivals, and much more, because we want to make sure the students can enjoy their time while being on campus. And then a little bit more about who we are in our community. We have about 2,500 students on campus, so that does make us a small school. We are 90% residential, so most of the students do live on campus. You are guaranteed your housing for 4 years. And then most of our students sorry, 54% of our students are female, 46% are male, and then 26% of our students are first gen. And then over here, we have our application deadlines and review process. So for our deadlines, we have many options for students. We have 2 early action deadlines, 2 early decision deadlines, and then 1 regular decision deadline. So lots of options because we want to make sure students feel comfortable when they submit their application. There's no pressure to apply EA1 for us. If you don't feel ready, you don't have to apply at that time. You can apply when you feel the most ready and that you're comfortable with your application. No matter what deadline you choose to apply, everyone has equal opportunity for admission to the college and for scholarships and financial aid. And then with our review process, we do a holistic review of the application. So you will submit your application through the Common App, and we're going to review everything that you put on it. So basically, we're going to look at your transcript with the type of classes you take, the GPA, your personal essay, your letters of recommendation, activity sheet, all of those things. What we are not going to see is your SAT or ACT scores. So we are test blind. We just do not consider them in our review process. And then we have a special Stonehill question on the Common App. It's a simple question, just asking, why Stonehill? Why do you want to come to the college? It is optional, but we do like to see when students answer that question. It can be just a couple of sentences, doesn't have to be anything too long. And then we also offer merit scholarships and financial aid. So the holistic review process is going to come back when it comes to the merit scholarships. So we are going to take a look at everything that's on your application again for your merit scholarship. And then financial aid is going to come from the FAFSA, and we only require FAFSA. And I always recommend to students just to submit it as soon as they can so we can get their financial aid package to them as soon as we can. And then that is it for me. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you so much. And our last institution, we have Bentley University.
Share my screen. Hold on just one second. Okay. Awesome. I believe everyone is able to see the presentation. But my name is Emma Tishner. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm one of the assistant directors of undergraduate admission here at Bentley University. Bentley University is a different type of institution. We are not a small specialized business school within a larger institution, and we're also not a small liberal arts college. We are a mid-sized university that has a severe business focus to our curriculum. We are located 9 miles outside of Boston directly in a suburb called Waltham, Massachusetts. This is a really nice visual of our campus in location to the Boston city skyline. A big draw for a lot of our students is that we have the city access, but we have a real college campus feel to our environment. Again, we're about 9 miles outside of the city, so students take great advantage of this for things like internships, social activities. As a lot of other schools are in the area, we're surrounded by over 60 different types of colleges and institutions of different specialties and sizes. And we really like to use that as an advantage for our students. As I mentioned, Bentley is a business-focused institution. We started in 1917 as a college in finance, accounting, and economics, and since then have really transformed into a more comprehensive university with both business and arts and sciences as our focus. On the business side of things, our most popular programs currently are finance, economics, accounting, marketing, and management. But we really believe that to support our students, that extra step, the arts and sciences on our campus need to be just as robust. So we do have both offerings on the business side and the arts and sciences side. In the past 2 years, Bentley has relaunched and redone our curriculum so that our students are able to double major for the first time in our history. It's something really exciting, and we really believe that no matter what path you go into, having a business perspective with the arts and sciences to back it up will never hurt you in that job search post-graduation. All classes at Bentley are taught by professors. We don't have teaching assistants or graduate students. Our average class size is 26. Last year it was 25, so it stays around that number every year, and we cap all classes at 35 students. On the undergraduate side, we have about 4,000 students, and in our grad programs, we have about 1,000. So about 5,000 students in total on campus. Awesome. One of the big highlights about Bentley is our return on investment. And really for us, that is our career services and career development. As we do have the business focus behind us, networking, internships, and that career development conversation is something that we as an institution have all of our students start out with right off the bat on campus. You can see in the middle that we offer 3 levels of career development in intensive courses, designed to help our students really begin to build soft skills for that career development purpose. So that first level of that career development course, you're building your first LinkedIn profile, you're working on soft skills for interviewing, different types of networking. Our career services office is ranked #1 by the Princeton Review, and it's something that we are really, really serious about on our campus for our students. 87% of Bentley students last year completed 1 internship, about 76 completed 2 or more. We had a 99% job placement rate for our students last year. So within 6 months of graduating, 99% of our senior class was fully employed or in graduate school. And finally, the median starting salary for our Bentley graduates last year was around $68,000 a year. So imagine you're 22, 23. This is where most of our Bentley students are starting. And what the application and kind of overview about Bentley is. We are an early decision school, so we do not have early action, but we do have early decision 1 and 2. Our early decision 1 deadline is in November 15th, and early decision 2 will be January 15th, along with our regular decision. There are a couple of programs that I would love to highlight in terms of our general application process, and that is our Women's Leadership Program and our First Generation Presidential Fellows Program. So Bentley is on the Common Application, and all of our materials that we'll ask from you will be through the Common App as well. The Women's Leadership Program is the additional scholarship piece that we have for our students. And this is really, as an institution, trying to encourage more female students to get into the business space. So this is the only separate application we have in our application process, where you have 2 essays about how you have been a leader in your community and what you think the program could do for you. This is an additional scholarship, and it is built in with 4 years of community engagement, working through our Center for Women in Business. Our First Generation Presidential Fellows Program is for a small cohort of our first generation applicants. It is not a separate application requirement. We automatically look for students who are first generation, who are high financial need, have leadership potential, and have been performing well academically over all 4 years in high school. Some other general things about the Bentley application process and what we look for. Because of our business focus, a lot of students come into our office and want to chat with us about how to make that business experience or that business spark really shine on your application. We really love to see additional materials if students have started businesses or have taken electives that have really resonated with them in the business side of things. We really do like to see that business fit. But what we really look for in terms of academics is core courses at the rigorous level. So most of our students who are receiving merit aid have taken some form of an honors or AP course. We look at what your school offers to you, and we award accordingly to what you've taken advantage of throughout high school. Finally, we work very closely with our Office of Financial Aid. We do require the FAFSA and the CSS profile, but you'll be assigned a counselor both in our office and the Office of Financial Aid to make sure that both pieces of those applications are all set. And finally, what we look for in a Bentley applicant is someone who is driven, who's someone who is very independent and a self-starter. And that oftentimes comes with the business focus, and again, leads really well to our return on investment for our Bentley students. So thank you so much for joining, and I will pass it along to Melissa. I believe I was the last one.
Great, thank you so much. So now we have about a minute or 2 left. I'm going to invite everybody to come back on screen. And I have one question just for all the reps to share with future students and families. And that question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll start it off in the same order with Hampshire College.
Yeah, so for those of us who are bookworms like myself, I have some book recommendations. that are really cool to read when you're going through the admissions process. One is Jeffrey Silingo's book, Who Gets In and Why? Another one is After the Ivory Tower Falls by Will Bunch. And then, of course, Colleges That Change Lives by Lauren Pope. So great reading for when you're going through the process.
Thanks. So a little bit of background. I used to be a college counselor for a few years. And so I've been in the seats of students being really worried and anxious and everything. So I always reminded my students to take a deep breath and look around our office and ask all of us where we went to college. And we all went to different places, but we were all at the same place. So that's to say there's a home for everyone out there. And I truly believe that.
Some more practical, not that all these aren't practical, I didn't mean to imply that, but from what I think is a really practical standpoint, create a separate email that you give out to colleges when you are coming to events like college fairs, meeting with admission counselors, all that good stuff. That way you're not getting annoyed by the communications that we are sending you and just ignoring them. And also you have one email that has everything coming to it, so you don't have to check multiple places or get inundated in your personal.
There's so many great ways you can answer this question. I'm going to be super lame and just choose I think it's super important, but it's kind of generic. Visiting. Like the most important part to me is visiting as many schools as you possibly can handle, being in a car with your family. Getting out there, visiting schools, stepping foot on campus, grabbing student newspapers, having lunch on the campus. Like those things are so important, and really add a lot of fun too. They can be a lot of fun.
I'm also going to sound lame because that's what I was going to say. I think it is really important to visit a campus if you're able to. It's just really important to see how you feel when you step on the campus, because that place is going to be your future home for the next 4 years. And it's just important to envision yourself there to see if you're comfortable there. And if you can't visit a college in person, try to see if there's virtual visits, if you can do an online meeting with a student. There's a lot of options to really get a good campus feeling, even if you're not in person.
I think I would say, and this is more in terms of the application process itself, but the advice I always give for students is to take the time to learn how to brag about yourself. It's not something that we're inherently taught to do, and oftentimes we're told to shy away from doing that, but we're really seeing a lot of applications in a short amount of time, and the best way for an application review committee to get a sense of who you are is to brag about yourself. So although it sounds a little bit silly, it really does, make that extra difference to show who you are and really highlight all of the accomplishments that you have, undertaken throughout high school.
Awesome advice, everyone. I wanted to thank all of our attendees and also all of our representatives and everybody for joining us tonight. There are more sessions happening after this one. And also just a reminder that this recording will be available at strivescan.com/Cristo Rey. So have a good day, everybody, and best of luck on your college search processes. Bye, everyone.